What's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, man, Jay Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy. Before you end up like Beezy, man, make sure y'all follow my Instagram, man. I do not have an Instagram, bro. Make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. You know what I mean? Subscribe to my second channel. Link in the description down below. You know what I mean? We got trapped upside down, the Nutty Putty cave incident, man. And this right here, I've never understood why people do these things. I don't understand the enjoyment. I don't understand the excitement, you know, and it's just like I can have fun. And like I said, it's just real. The people that I see doing crazy stuff like this is white people. And I know all y'all not like that. I know some of y'all are like me. But it's like I can have fun without risking my life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's no reason. What I want you to do, I want you to stop looking at me for a minute and look at the screen. This is basically the situation that we're finna cover. So as it look above me, it looks like somebody is trying to save this man right here with a rope. It looks like this man right here is upside down, and y'all, just imagine you being upside down in a claustrophobic space like that. In a small, and you're upside down. I don't care about why you do cave diving. I don't care you're trying to break a record. It's nothing in the world that can make sense to me for the reason for you doing this. I don't care if it's $1 billion in the cave. I don't care if it's gold in the cave. I don't care what it is. One thing about my life is precious to me, and my life has no price on it. Point blank, period. My life it doesn't have a price. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't care what's below the cave. I don't care. I'm thinking that is the reason why people do these things. You know what I mean? Like I've seen multiple cave incidents that went wrong. You feel me? But I 100% certain do not think that it's gold down there, bunny down there. I think people just do this for the thrill. And it just kind of upsets me in the sort. It's like, why do this to yourself? You know what I mean?
Trapped, upside down,
it's like,
deep inside
come on, bro.
a 10-inch wide narrow passage within a cave for a harrowing 27 hours.
27 hours, bro. You're like 27 hours. You're in a claustrophobic, like 27 hours. You just like this. Like, I can't even think about that right now. I don't even want to think. Like, me thinking about it, bro, makes me like I felt like a dread of suffocation, bro.
Began as an exciting cave expedition for John Edward Jones with his family became a desperate struggle for survival. On November 24th, 2009, John Edward Jones and his family and friends visited the treacherous Nutty Putty Cave, which lies in the heart of the Utah desert. Its dark and winding passageways have claimed the curiosity of countless explorers over the years. John was a 26-year-old man with a passion for adventure and a dream of becoming a pediatric cardiologist. With his brother Josh by his side, they embarked on countless caving adventures with their father. As it turns out, they considered themselves to be experienced cavers. However, John hadn't been caving much since getting married, having a 1-year-old daughter and with a second child expected in June, while also being a medical student at the University of Virginia. During the Thanksgiving holiday, John went home to visit with family. They planned a day trip with hiking adventures and a dive into the Nutty Putty Cave.
And it's like, John, you gotta understand, bro, you can't. And he said was, so it's like, you're dead. But it's like, you can't be that selfish, John, bro. It's like, you can't, like, dang, it's like, now your kid's growing up without a father. Now your wife has to raise 2 kids on her own. So it's like, John, you shouldn't have been like that selfish, man. Knowing like, I'm risking my life. I don't want to do nothing to risk my life. I don't want to do nothing that can cause me to die because I have 2 children here depending on me. I have 1 child here and 1 on the way. I want to be here for my children. I want to be here for my wife. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, In this situation, John was just thinking about himself. Okay, I want to go cave diving, no matter if, you know, yeah, I'm risking my life, but yeah, I got 2 kids. I got a kid at home. I got a kid on the way. Got a wife. They'll be all right. You know, I want to go cave. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, I wish he was just, you know, can't be selfish.
That the trip would forever change their lives. From 1999 to 2004, 6 people got stuck in Nutty Putty's panic-inducing tunnels. The 3 tightest squeezes, the Helmet Eater, the Scout Eater, and the Birth Canal, were the sites of these incidents, earning them ominous nicknames. However, authorities saw the dangers of the Nutty Putty cave and closed it down in 2006. 3 years later, in May 2009, the caving organization Timpanogos Grotto set up an online reservation system for Nutty Putty. Having reservations meant that only one group could explore the cave system at a time. Although many found the cave system challenging but passable, many simply couldn't pass through and had to be rescued. Because of frequent rescues, authorities set up a permit-style system to control cave access. The permit required at least 2 experienced cavers per group. Fortunately for the Jones brothers, Josh and John were fit for the job. Many considered Nutty Putty a beginner's caving because many sections like the big room and the maze were easy to navigate. The final hurdle was the true test of courage and skill, a 70-foot vertical drop known as the Birth Canal. Even as cavers knew the challenges of Nutty Putty, many would still get stuck, allowing panic and fear to take over.
There was no such thing as no experience. I'll be saying, the way humans think is not real. All of your experience cave, like, that experience doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, did a video about an experienced skydiver. You know what I'm saying? Man had like 30 years experience. Man tried to, you feel me, launch out the what's the name, right? You know, when you skydiving out of the plane, you launch out the parachute, whatever. He tried to launch it out. I think it's in the True Story playlist section. He tried to launch it out, it didn't launch out. So guess what? The girl that he had latched on to him and him fell to the ground immediately. Imagine hitting the ground that fast, jumping out of the plane. They were unrecognizable. 30 plus years experience, bro. Just for that to happen. So experience is BS to me. Experience is BS. I don't care about your years with experience, with caves. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? You get stuck and it's over. It's like, this is just plain stupid. You're just begging to die.
The cave system quickly became a well-known marvel thanks to its aptly named cave sections and narrow passageways. As explorers delved deeper, they navigated through tight squeezes opening into expansive rooms, making for a thrilling underground journey. Though it seemed like the Timpanogos Grotto was efficiently managing Nutty Putty's risks, a terrifying event would soon change everything. Their preparedness couldn't account for human nature. It was a chilly Tuesday, just before Thanksgiving.
Just before Thanksgiving?
Family and friends.
You died the day before Thanksgiving? Freaking crazy. It's like, not going to even celebrate it. You died the day before Thanksgiving.
Ventured deep into the Nutty Putty cave. They embarked on their journey, unaware of what awaited them in the cavern. What started as a routine caving trip soon took an unforeseen twist, propelling them into a relentless race against a ticking clock. The group explored a large chamber called the Big Slide. Later, John and Josh, along with 2 friends, broke off to find a more challenging passage known as the Birth Canal, which is tight but navigable. They split up, wriggling into alcoves and passages to look for it. With excitement, John took the lead and picked a waist-high hole to explore, squeezing himself through the tight confines. John and his brother Josh were still determined to conquer this challenge. They navigated through tight spaces, squeezed through narrow passages, and tolerated the damp and claustrophobic conditions. As John pushed forward, he believed he was somewhere in the Birth Canal, but he somehow took a wrong turn and actually entered an unmapped section of the cave near Ed's Push. Within minutes, he realized he'd made a grave mistake. John had veered off course, seeing what he thought was a larger opening on the other side. He tried to squeeze in head first, pushing himself along with his hips, his stomach, and fingers. John realized he was now just about stuck, with no room to turn around and unable to wiggle back through the way he came. Pressing forward was now his only option. When he saw an opening that dropped nearly straight down in front of him, it may have appeared to widen out at the bottom, giving him a spot to turn around. But he had made another mistake and done something cavers are taught not to do. Despite his experiences, John went head first into a tight spot going downward. Although he had told Josh that he would turn around, things weren't going his way. In order to reach the opening, John...
Like, look at this.
He would turn around, things weren't going his way. In order to reach
look at this. Like, what? Like, this is so stupid to me. It's just ridiculous. It's just... It's like, long live John, but I try to tell you, bro, life is choice driven. That's the realest thing ever. Like, life is choice driven. John died because of John. That's why I try to tell y'all, and I say this all the time. 95% of the things that happens in our life is because of us. The other 5% is just life. It's just things that you cannot control. You know what I'm saying? But the 95% of things that happen to us happens to us because of us. We are our own worst enemy. And once I start sitting back and once I start realizing that, I'm like, dang, I'm really my own worst enemy. Like, I'm in this position because of me. I lost this job because of me. I went to jail because of me. I did this, all this happened because of me. Once you start sitting back and once you start realizing, like, dang, I am the reason for my troubles. I am the reason for the consequences. You start changing, you start maturing. I don't think a lot of people look themselves in the mirror like that, taking accountability. But he didn't have time to take accountability. He's already dead. But John died because of John. Want to go cave diving in this little tight hole. This is not made for humans. One thing that humans do not know how to do is just be human. Just be human. That's one thing that I can appreciate about other species. They can just be them without trying to go out the ordinary. You see whales, you see sharks, they just be in the ocean. They just be whales and they just be sharks. They don't be trying to come on land, do all type of stuff to risk their life. They just be them. But humans, you try to go in submarines. Humans try to freaking dive through caves. Humans try to do all the things that humans should not do. We wonder why John died. John died because of him. Humans not supposed to do this, bro. You don't see no other species. You don't see no other animals. It's crazy how God gave us the most brain, and yet I'm not going to say we because I use my brain. So I'm not going to be in a bubble with y'all. You feel me? God gave humans the most brain, but yet humans be the most dumbest. I really think other species are smarter than a lot of humans. I really do. Like, I feel like other species, bro, is very smart, very intelligent. They just don't speak. They speak in their own language, just like we speak in our own language. When they be, ooh, ah, you a monkey, ooh, ah, all that, apes and all that, they be speaking. Dogs, dogs really be speaking. They just speak in their language. Other dogs understand them. We just don't. Just like how we don't understand, you know what I'm saying, Chinese people. Y'all gotta understand, we animals as well. We're just the top of the chart. They got brains too. They know what to do and what not to do. God gave us the most brains. Yet it's like humans don't use it. Like, what type of, come on, bro. Come on, John. What you doing, bro? What you going in a small cake? What, for what reason? For the experience? Then you can't experience anything else, bro, without risking your life. You got to do this.
Opening.
See how that happens. See what
exhaled the air in his lungs to be able to fit and slide over a lip of rock and down into the 10-inch wide side of the crevice. But when his chest expanded again while inhaling, he was stuck. Struggling to free himself only made John slide deeper into the narrower 8.5-inch wide side of the opening. With one arm pinned underneath him and the other forced backward by an outcropping of rock, he found himself helplessly wedged in an upside-down position at a daunting 70-degree
Imagine
angle,
being
trapped
like
below
this
the ground. John's caving instincts kicked in as he tried to remain calm. John knew things had slipped out of his control. With each passing moment, his hope dwindled, and the walls seemed to close around him. He struggled to free himself from a space that seemed to be no bigger than a monitor. Realizing that he was struggling against the forces of gravity and had no hope of freeing himself, he shouted for his brother. Realizing John's perilous situation, Josh scrambled quickly through the muddy walls, desperate to free him. Josh attempted the same route, going feet first instead. But the cave had other plans, pulling John deeper into its clutches with every attempt. Josh clambered to his brother's location in the cave. By then, he could see his brother, and dread settled in. Seeing his feet flailing in the air and seeing how swallowed he was by the rock, that's when Josh realized how serious the situation was. Determined not to give up on his brother, Josh made several attempts to free him and prayed together, but he soon realized that they would need professional help. Wasting no time, Josh quickly exited the cave. As hours became an agonizing wait, John was at the cave's mercy. Unable to move, the downward angle at which John was trapped placed significant stress on his body, requiring his heart to work exceptionally hard to continuously pump blood out of the brain. When Susie, a local rescue volunteer, showed up around midnight, she introduced herself and asked John how he was doing. John thanked Susie for coming, but told her that he really wanted to get out. She kept him company as they waited for the bulk of the rescue team to arrive. With every passing second, the situation grew more dire, and the obstacles became increasingly daunting. John had already endured over 3 hours upside down, experiencing more discomfort than outright pain. Meanwhile, the rescuers brainstormed ways to free John. They considered lubing the cave walls, drilling through the unyielding rock, and even using a rope pulley system. But the cave's narrowness and John's upside-down position made it extremely difficult. The narrowness of the cave system made bringing tools nearly impossible, and only small, wiry, and flexible rescuers could maneuver through the tight spaces. To add a layer of complexity to the problem, only one person could be with John at a time, making it even more challenging to free him quickly. As the hours tick by, the rescuers' team's frustration grows, and their options seem to dwindle. Exhaustion sets in, and with John's arms immobilized and his legs unable to help, it becomes a race against time to keep him alive. With rescue efforts ongoing, John's physical and mental state deteriorates. The agonizing hours take their toll as he struggles to breathe and his heart battles gravity's pull. The human body isn't made to be upside down for long. With John's organs pressing against his lungs, his body has to work harder to breathe. Though his experiences taught him otherwise, he began to thrash and panic. As the rescue team worked tirelessly through the night, determined to save John's life, they came to a horrible realization. The angle of the tunnel meant they couldn't bend John's body backward without likely having to break his legs. In his weakened state, the shock would potentially kill him. Yet, in a heartwarming moment, the rescuers were able to send down a device for John's wife to connect with him through a two-way cable radio. Their emotional conversation provided a glimmer of comfort in this dire situation. Finally, the breakthrough they've been desperately waiting for arrives. The rescue workers decided to install a pulley system anchored to the tunnel's walls with a series of climbing cams to pull John out of the hole. With 8 men working in perfect tandem, they begin the challenging task of pulling him up. Each pull is met with excruciating pain, thanks to the highly sensitive nerves in his legs, but they push through, inch by agonizing inch. Since 19 hours had passed, John couldn't move his legs to help the rescue team maneuver them to the side. Because his time was running out, they considered breaking his legs to free him. But still, things seemed to be going well, and progress was slow, but still progress. But then, disaster struck. As the team pulls, the rope snaps. The stone arch holding the rope shatters, and the nearest key bolt breaks off, hitting John's closest rescuer, Ryan, in the face. The entire team fell backwards, and John had slid deeper back into the crevice. With Ryan seriously injured and exhausted, a new rescuer takes his place. The tension rises as they desperately try to reach John again. He's now completely unresponsive to their attempts to contact him. The clock is ticking, and the odds seemed stacked against them. Dave, Ryan's father, spent an hour reestablishing the pulley system. While trying to tie the rope back onto John's body, he got himself stuck in the same tunnel for nearly 15 minutes. Eventually, he freed himself, but with his energy spent, things didn't look good. John was barely breathing and remained unresponsive. He had gone into cardiac arrest. The rescuers collected themselves just outside the narrow parts of Ed's push to discuss their options. Since John wasn't responding, they decided a medical professional would need to figure out if John had passed away. At 11:56 on November 25th, John was pronounced dead. As the heartbreaking reality sunk in, the rescuers were forced to leave empty-handed. Around 137 workers worked tirelessly for 27 grueling hours and faced their most formidable challenge. Their dedication and bravery are undeniable. But even after John Jones's passing, retrieving his body from the treacherous cave was too risky. The tragedy of Nutty Putty Cave becomes his eternal resting place after authorities realized that they would risk other lives if they tried to pull his body out of the cave. In the aftermath, they permanently closed the cave to the public and sealed it with concrete.
So he's dead. Like, he's still in there. That's crazy. He's still in there. You know what I mean? That is crazy. Dang, bro. Still in. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, John, man, you should have thought better than that, man. Dang, John, bro. Should have thought better than that. That's sad, though, bro. Still in there to this day.
Secrets and dangers will forever remain hidden. John's family ensures that his memory lives on with a plaque placed at the cave's entrance.
Died in 2009.
To his life and the sacrifices made to pursue his rescue. Despite heroic rescue efforts, they couldn't free John, leaving behind a legacy that serves as a reminder of the allure and dangers of exploring these hidden underground realms.
But dang, though, man, he died in 2009. That's a long, 2025, and go into 2026. That happened a long time ago. But long live John, though, man. Hopefully, bro, y'all just, you know what I'm saying, y'all freaking learn from this video, man, for real. Because that right there could have been avoided at all costs, you know what I'm saying? But it's your boy Jay, man. Take it easy. Clean up life easy, boy Jay out, man.